let me just the topic of this live on Instagram and we will get going. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from and give me an emoji that tells me how you're feeling about today or this week. Fun. Cool. Let's do this. Hey guys. Awesome. Morning. All right. Let me get recording and then we are going to dive in. Today, I want to talk to you about some reviews of different e-courses and programs that I took over this year, why I took them, if I recommend them, etc. I'm a big fan of continual learning, so I wanted to share some of the things that I really thought helped me this year. Cool. All right, let me make sure everything is good on Facebook. Hey guys. I'm getting over a cold, so excuse my sniffles. Where are you guys tuning in from? Let me know for those of you that are on live. Okay, cool. Looks like we are all good to go. Hi, guys. Alrighty, so today is a really exciting episode for a few reasons. We have some announcements that I need to make. So let's go ahead and get going with those. Welcome. Oops. Just a sec, guys. Sorry. I want to make sure this is recording correctly. Hey. All right, guys. Welcome to the Your Biggest Vision show. I am your host, Leah. Hey, Alyssa. Awesome. So glad to see you here. Sorry, I was having some technical glitches. I am very happy to be here with you guys on this Monday, this beautiful Monday. Oops. And we have lots of things to talk about today. So first, before we dive into the content of today, which is going to be a review and a look at the different e-courses and entrepreneurship programs I took over the year and why I took them, if I would recommend them, all that kind of stuff. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, I want to give you guys a few announcements because there is a lot of new things that I needed to share with you. So first things first, this is the last live on a Monday that we will do of the Your Biggest Vision show in 2019. And that's because we have finished season 1. I can't believe it. We've done something like 80 episodes this season so far, which is just incredible to me. That means that there was something like 40 different interviews that we did. I did 40 different lives. And I'm really, really proud of how this show came together and the guests we've had and the content we've shared and the things we've taught. And so we have had a great season 1, and we are going to spend the rest of the year reflecting on season 1, seeing what you guys liked, seeing what you want more of, seeing what didn't really resonate, and coming back in 2020 with season 2, revamped and fresh and ready to go. We already have some amazing interviews lined up for that. And so I also want to be clear, though, that does not mean that for the rest of the year, I'm leaving you guys hanging. That's not what this is about at all. One of the things my producer and I thought would be really helpful to you all is if we went back to some of the episodes throughout the year and picked out some of them that we thought would do the best job in supporting you as you plan for 2020 and as you reflect on this year and as you up-level whatever it is that you're hoping to do next year. So a lot of the episodes that we did earlier on weren't marketed that much, and that's just because it was the beginning. I didn't know what I was doing, and it was sort of me doing it all by myself, but some of them are really amazing, and so we want to make sure that they are getting we want to make sure that they're helping people in the way that they have the power to do. So all this is to say that for the rest of the year, for the next 8 weeks, starting next week, you'll still have episodes released on iTunes and on the podcast app Tuesdays and Thursdays like usual. It's just that they will be some of the previous episodes we've done, but they'll be pulled out specially, and with each one there'll be an introduction from me, a brand new introduction where I kind of explain why I chose this episode to highlight, what I think you should listen for when you're listening to it and what you might want to consider as you think about 2020 from that episode. So they'll still have a new element to it every single week, and you'll still have new content every week. It's just going to be me helping you and encouraging you to look at it in the lens of planning for a new year, reflecting on this past year, and listening to what I think are some of the biggest takeaways from these different episodes and how a lot of the lessons in them impacted my journey. You know, I know listening to other podcasts and even just listening to other people's stories, sometimes I will hear it and I will get one thing out of it, but then I'll hear it a different time. And because I'll be at a different place in my life or in my business or in my journey, I'll get something completely new and completely different out of it. So I want to share with you guys what I'm getting out of all these interviews, or how I think they relate to what I've done or what I did wrong or any of that. So you can learn in the context of me and my own story, since that's what I share so much about on this podcast. So that's something to look forward to. Next week is a really vulnerable one that we're doing on Monday. So please keep out for that. We do have, I think, 2 exceptions within there for the rest of the year where there'll be totally new episodes. And so we'll let you guys know where that is. But all this is to say that the next few months, the episodes will be kind of remixed and done with my commentary and done in supporting you for planning the rest of the year. And then we'll have a new season next year. And I will not be live with you guys here on Mondays anymore for the rest of the year, just because of how we're doing this. But those will still be coming out to you 2 times a week. So that is announcement number 1. Okay, announcement number 2 is that on Wednesday, I am hosting an encore presentation of my most popular digital class. It is called Create Your Quantum Leap. It is all about entrepreneurship mindset, and specifically it goes through the 3 biggest mindset shifts I believe successful entrepreneurs need to go through, and the 3 biggest shifts that change things for me. So I've taught this class before. I get great feedback on it every single time. Even if you've already signed up, even if you've already heard it, but you're just looking for another dose of inspiration, or if you've never heard it, definitely go sign up. It is in the link in my bio. There will be a replay, so you don't need to worry if you can't make it live. But hopefully you can make it live, and it will be this Wednesday, and it will be really, really great. And then the final announcement we have for this week is that it is November. As you all know, happy November. And that means that this month we are starting to take applications for our mastermind in 2020. And for those of you that don't know, my mastermind is my highest level of support that I offer for my clients. It is one of the things I'm most proud of in the world. My clients have gotten really great results from it. It's a fabulous community. All the women in it are very close, and it's a really great way and close way to work with me on your business growth. And this next year, we are doing something new, which I'm really excited about, kind of a new addition, where we're having 2 different masterminds. So I'm not going to give too much away right now because a lot of it's still in the works, but I wanted to make the announcement because the 2 different ones are different by design, meaning they're meant for 2 different people. They're 2 different price points, and they're 2 different offerings. So if you are interested at all, in any sort of mastermind support with me, if you are interested in joining my absolutely most successful clients, please reach out to me and we can discuss if one of these would be a good fit for you. There are quite a few early bird discounts that are happening when you join this November. So you do not want to delay, and these spots will fill up. I'm very, I take my job very seriously with the mastermind as making sure it's a very good dynamic and a really close group and a really supportive group. So it is invite only. It's not open to my entire audience or just to anyone. And if you are interested in seeing if you could be a good fit for that, then please reach out and we can discuss and see if that would be a good place for you. It's going to be really, really special with all the things we're revamping next year. We've got some great things in store, including great guest speakers and new ways of supporting you and some in-person stuff. So if that interests you at all, please reach out to me and let me know. You can email us at help@urban20something and we can just have a conversation. There's no strings attached. You have absolutely nothing to lose by reaching out, but you could lose out on a lot if you don't take action, because you could miss out on a spot that could change your business and your life. So that is what is new this November over here. And without further ado, now let's hop into the meat of today's episode, which is reviews and kind of explanations and my thoughts on some of the different e-courses and programs that I took this year. Let me take a sip of water and then we will go ahead and dive in. And in the meantime, I'd love it if any of you listening that are here live want to let me know any program or course or anything you've taken that has really been great for you or your business. Okay, let's dive in. So I want to just start by saying that I am not an affiliate to any of these e-courses. I am not getting paid to talk about any of these e-courses. At this moment, I am not an affiliate. I just want to be clear because maybe one day I would be. I don't know. I don't want to put myself in any corner. But right now, this is just meant to be really transparent and really honest with you guys. When I started my business, I was so obsessed with e-courses, and I wanted to take everyone that I saw. I watched so many webinars. I would get such shiny object syndrome. I wanted to take them all. They all looked so great. And some e-courses really did help me and some really did not. And there was even a time where I got kind of burned or kind of salty about taking these courses because I just felt like they weren't really helping and that I was spending all this money on them and then I wasn't implementing them or I didn't have support. And so then I went kind of the opposite direction where I only hired coaches or was part of service-based support because I wanted the direct help and I wanted the implementation. And that was great. But I think I've kind of come to a place where I know which one is good depending on which place I'm at. I will never stop taking either because I very much believe in consistent learning and continuing to up-level my business and myself. And so there is, I think it's valuable to hear at this point, I'm not in the beginning anymore, but I'm still doing this, what I'm doing, why I'm taking them, who I think they're for, etc. And really hoping that this can help give you some clarity on where you need support. I think that as entrepreneurs, that's the most important thing you can know the answer to is where do I need help? So where can I get it? And that's what I want to share with you today. So let's go ahead and dive in. The first program that I took in 2019 was in January, and it was an in-person event. So it wasn't an e-course, but I still wanted to mention it because it was a program. And it was an event called Pitch Please with Farnoosh Torabi and Susie Moore. And this was for pretty established entrepreneurs. I do think you'd be welcome there if you were newer, but I think that it was more made for and tailored for people that were newer, that were more established. And what it was about nailing down your pitch for media, nailing down a strategy for how to pitch to the media more, knowing how to leverage media once you got into it, etc. It was really just all about media. And Farnoosh and Susie both are very well connected in the media world. They've both been featured in the media quite a bit. And they talk a lot about how they are so into media features because it's free, essentially. You can pay for Facebook ads, you can pay for promoted pins, you can have a Pinterest manager, you can pay for SEO, or you can do SEO free too, but that can take a lot of work. Whereas once you're in a media outlet, it's free. And if you do it right, it can be free lead generation. So I went and, did the whole thing. And it was a really great day. I actually did a whole YouTube video review of it and my biggest takeaways about media on it from the day on my website. So if you go to Pitch Please on Urban 20-something, you will find that. But I definitely can't think of people that are better to learn media from than Susie and Farnoosh. They are from very different backgrounds about media. Like Farnoosh is a formerly professionally trained journalist, and Susie kind of pulled herself up from her entrepreneurial bootstraps and did this herself. So having both of those lenses, having it from the very official side, but then having it from the very DIY side is really great because I believe entrepreneurship is a mix of both. I believe that you're going with what you're great at and you hopefully have expertise in something or some things. But at the end of the day, you're just trying to make your way through it and figure it out just like everyone else. And so having those two were really helpful. I definitely recommend learning from them if getting featured in the media is your main goal for the year or for the quarter or anything like that. I do think that they are right in that media is free, and that's hugely amazing. But the strategy of media is a kind of job in itself. And I think it's a hugely valuable job, but that's kind of where I was coming from at the beginning when I said that though I think that they'd welcome beginners and you'd get a lot out of it because you'd know how to go into media from the beginning, you'll get more out of it if you're at a place in your business where getting into the media is a big goal. So just think about that for a minute in the context of your own business. What would it mean for you to be at a place where getting into the media is your big goal? Well, it would mean that you should be in a place where you have somewhere for the media to go to that you're proud of, which means you either have a great blog where you want people to start subscribing and start reading and get really hooked when they go over there, or you will have a great funnel where once people sign up for your email, they go through this sequencing and then they buy something, or you have a great product and you want people to learn about that, or you have a great podcast and you want more listeners. But if you are getting into the media just for the sake of getting into the media and you're not really having a great place for them to go once they found you, then you're not going to not get something out of media features, but you will get more and it will probably be more efficient with your time if you have that at least some. I don't want to put too much pressure on anyone because I don't think that the back end's ever fully quote built out, but you want to have something there for people to go to. So I highly recommend this workshop. I highly recommend learning from Farnoosh and Susie. They do multiple different ways, like they have a lot of different options for supporting you and getting more into the media. I think Susie has an e-course, and I think they do an even more elite mastermind on it. So if you're wanting to learn, if you feel like you're in that chatter, I definitely recommend learning from them. I just recommend being honest with yourself about whether or not you have the capacity and the logistics for that strategy to be a central focus for you right now. Okay, let me take another sip of water. I'm sorry, you guys, I kind of have a little bit of a cold, so I kind of have the sniffles. Let me make sure everything is okay. I refreshed it, so hopefully that's okay. I still can't see the views, but it's cool. Okay, so that was the first program that I took. The next e-course I took was Boss Pitch with Erica Gwen from Coming Up Roses. So Boss Pitch is for learning how to pitch brands as an influencer, Instagrammer, blogger, whatever it is that you want to call yourself, to partner with them and to get sponsored posts or items or like things from them, whatever it is that you would make sense for your business. So I took this because one of my goals for the year was to start partnering with brands in a different way. I had done so before last year and I really liked it. And I had gotten to a point last year where I had felt like my e-courses were excellent, my group programs were very good, and my mastermind was going well. My mastermind was a big focus of the year. But another one that I wanted to focus on this year was branching out my message in a different way, which I was curious to see how it could look with partnering with brands a bit more. So I took Boss Pitch to learn how to pitch brands, to learn how to know which brands would be a good fit for me, and to know just more about that side of online business and marketing. And Erica has a successful blog, which it looks like funds pretty much exclusively from brand partnerships, except she obviously makes money off of this e-course. And it was also recommended to me by a friend, which always helps. Actually looking at these, a lot of these are recommended by a friend. So it was recommended to me by a friend and I went ahead and pulled the trigger. So that's why I took it. I recommend Boss Pitch to bloggers and or Instagrammers and influencers. It definitely was a helpful course to me in terms of what I wanted to learn, which was very much that side of online business because it was a bit new to me at the time. Like I said, I had worked with some brands, but brand partnerships was still not the core of my business. So I definitely got what I wanted out of it. She knows what she's talking about. It was a great learning experience, and I have partnered with more brands since then. However, it's not even really however, and I would say that the course is definitely meant for people that are specifically bloggers or influencers, people that really use that kind of way of communicating with their audience as their primary focus, which I don't. So I don't know. I know I'm being kind of confusing here because I still would recommend it to people that are even like me, that are entrepreneurs that still want to add a side of brand partnership in there because I did learn so much and it did help me. I just think that the people that will make absolutely the most sense for it are people that are bloggers through and through. And that's just because those are the people that do the most brand partnerships. And you know, you can do these pitches easier when you have the sort of fundamentals and structure in place, which is what brands are looking for. And that's not exactly how my website's set up. I'm not a blogger. Okay, the next course I took was Jenna Kutcher's The Podcast Lab, which was new at the time when it came out. And my podcast right now, Your Biggest Vision, was about 3 months old or so. I'm not exactly sure, but it was a couple months in. I'm a big fan of Jenna's podcast, The Goal Digger podcast. She's been hugely successful for it, and it's obviously one of the most successful business podcasts out there. So I was really excited to learn from her about podcasting, and that's why I took it, because I had a new podcast and it was just a few months old, and I wanted to know how to grow it, what I could do right, maybe some things I had missed, etc. It was very new to me. So I would recommend this podcast lab class to people who have not started a podcast yet. It was very much about getting it going from the beginning. So it would have been really, really helpful if I would have bought this before I started my podcast, because she does talk so much about the great equipment you should be using, how to market it, how to name it, how to brand it, how to get it out there, how to know which niche to pick, how to put it up on iTunes. And, the truth is I had already done a lot of that. So I definitely recommend this course. I think it's a good course. I don't want it to come across as though I have any negative thing to say about it. I just was a bit too far ahead for the level that the podcast lab is at. So if you are considering starting a podcast and you want to know if it's right for you, or if you want to know how to package it in the best way and start it in the best way, then this would be a great class. But if you already have a podcast and you just want to know how to grow it a bit more, then I would find a different course, because that's just not the focus of this course. Jenna obviously knows what she's talking about. And like I said, if I would have known the insights in there when I started this, it probably would have been different and easier. But I just had taken it a bit too late. Okay, the next course I took was called Financial Freedom University with Ann Wilson. And I took this course because I felt like, how do I phrase this correctly? I took this course because I was excited to do a course that was personal. I think I've done so much business stuff for the past few years, and I love my business. I mean, it's like my air that I breathe. And I love learning for it, and it's so intertwined with me. I have no complaints about how business focused my entire life is. And I do think it's important to separate your personal and your business life, even when you love business that much, because it's not your whole persona. It's not your whole thing. So I took Financial Freedom University just to, tune up my finances and give myself the discipline and the commitment to look at my personal finances apart from my business in a really, better pattern. I think it's so easy to be like, well, my business is doing so well, and so therefore I'm doing well. And it's true, but it's still important, from a mindset perspective, to keep the two separate. And this was also highly recommended to me by a woman who I think so highly of, and very much trust, her and her husband. So that was another reason that I signed up for it. I would do it again. I wish I had a better review on this. The honest truth is, somewhat fortunately or unfortunately, but the truth is, because this was more of a personal investment than a business investment, it got pushed to the wayside a bit more this year, which is I take full responsibility to, but just with my wedding and business, it was harder to make time for this one. I will say though, that one of my favorite takeaways from this so far has been the emphasis on assets, which I obviously know that that's important, but hearing it again in this way made me re-emphasize the assets within my business I had already built. So a lot of times it's very tempting for us to want to be in the mode of creating something new, selling something new. But a lot of us have actually created some pretty great stuff already, which are assets. If you've created something that has worked in any way, if you've created a great blog post where someone signed up for your email list from that, or an e-course that someone bought, or a program that people have gone through, or even a blog post with an affiliate link that someone's bought, that is an asset. Those are things you've created that you can make work for you. And so I will just say, from a business perspective, I think that this course, Financial Freedom University, has helped me remember how important it is to be constantly tweaking the assets that I have and not focusing just on creating new ones. I would recommend Financial Freedom University to anyone who is seduced by the laptop lifestyle, or the 4-hour work week type thing, and maybe falling into some of the traps of online business that make it look like you can have that just by creating a course in a year or something like this. I think Financial Freedom University is a lot more holistic, it's a lot more deep, and it's a lot more personal. So I really recommend it for entrepreneurs, I guess, in general, that want to make sure that their business goals are in alignment with their personal goals and that their business is working for them towards their financial goals. All right, let me take another sip. I hope that you guys are liking this so far. I have 2 more courses. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. The next course I took was Create and Go's 6-Figure Blogger. I am friends with Alex, who is the creator of this course. He was on this podcast earlier this year. And a lot of what's in this course is things I had already done. This course is about creating digital products from your blog to reach 6 figures. I already have a lot of digital products. Obviously, they've done well. I mostly bought this course because I wanted to make sure that I felt up to date and in the know with a lot of what they teach, because they know digital products very, very well. And I think when you're an expert in a field, which I would consider myself an expert in marketing, online marketing, then you need to make sure that you are still learning about it all the time and that you're, not missing out on anything that could be right under your nose or something. So I mostly took this course as a tune-up and just to kind of learn from other experts. And it is an excellent course. So if you are a blogger, I again, sort of like Boss Pitch, I do think it's for bloggers, which I wouldn't really at the end of the day consider myself a blogger. But if you are a blogger and you want to make digital products, then this will be a great course for you. It talks about how to optimize your blog posts, how to make good digital courses from the ground up and digital products, including ebooks, how to research them. It's very thorough. The creators did a great job. So who would I recommend it to? Bloggers, anyone who has or wants to have digital products. I think you could still get something out of it if you want to create a digital product, even if you wouldn't consider yourself a classic blogger. But I do think, just as the name implies, 6-Figure Blogger is made for bloggers. So yeah, if that's something that's interesting to you, then it's a great course. I do recommend it. And then the final course is, I'm in it right now, the Billionaire Catalyst with Alex Sharfin. I took this because it is very focused on team building and leadership. And a big goal of mine for 2020 is to build more of my team and be a better leader. 2019 has been an amazing year, personally and professionally. My business hit 6 figures. It's my first full year self-employed. I got married. I really couldn't be happier. And Urban 20-something is bigger than me now. And it is, really turning into a movement, which I'm so grateful for. But I have to really recognize that if I just do it by myself, I will stunt its own growth. And that's not what I want for it. And also recognize that I have never really managed people before. This is new to me. I didn't start Urban 20-something because I thought I was a great CEO. I started it because I wanted to start a business. And I thought that it was important to talk about the things that I was writing about. So having an assistant, having a podcast producer, all of that is new to me, and I want to do it right. And that is the focus of Alex Sharfin's work. So that is why I joined. I would recommend it so far. I've only been in it for a few weeks, but I would recommend it to anyone who is looking to scale their team and who wants to do it in a strategic way and doesn't just want to do sort of one-off contractors for the rest of their life. And anyone that just really needs a clear business strategy plan. After you get past 6 figures. I don't think it's a beginner situation. Alrighty, so to recap, this year I took Pitch Please with Farnoosh Sharabi and Susie Moore, Erica Gwen's Boss Pitch, Jenna Kutcher's The Podcast Lab, Financial Freedom University with Ann Wilson, Create and Go's 6-Figure Blogger, and Alex Sharfin's Billionaire Catalyst. Wow, what a year it's been. We launched a podcast. We started working with brands. I started paying more attention to the assets I had within my business. I tweaked out my own marketing expertise, and now I'm building out my team. And I've gotten featured in more of the media because I learned from Susie and Farnoosh. So I'm really grateful for all of this. I'm really humbled that each one of these came into my life and that these people shared this with me and that they've helped my business in the way that they have. And I hope that hearing this helps your business. If you have any questions about any of these courses or any course in general, I've taken tons. This was just from this year, which was probably the lowest course year yet. please reach out to me. I'm happy to have an honest conversation. I know what it's like to feel like you aren't getting a real answer from anyone, and I don't want that for you. So please feel like you can always ask me. You can email us at help@urban20something.com. And I hope that you guys have the best week ever. Here is to your biggest vision.